And we're
focus.
back. Focus. Okay. Easy. Oh, man, I remember when that used to happen sometimes where it would go out of focus. Like, I would keep, like, having to glance. Like, in fact, I still do that just to make sure that it is still in focus. There would be, like, at one point, there would be episodes we would be doing where the focus would just be, I don't even know if it was for this camera, and it might have been, but, like, the focus was just acting wild, so I'd have to, like, go in and put in just, like, still shots to put over it and things like that for random parts of the movie. I don't know, maybe there was, like, a speck of dust on the lens or something that it didn't like. Well, we just got out of Black and Blue. Works as a double feature with Countdown.
It does.
In that both movies do have a section in it that is very much relying on hacking into technology.
Oh, that was the theme. You're right. I guess so. Yeah. Black
and Blue is the movie that, what's her name? Naomie.
That's a good question. Let me pull up the IMDb.
Yeah. Remember on episodes of Siskel and Ebert where they'd forget an actor's name and have to pause and, hey, what's this guy's name?
I typed in Black and Blue and got The Dress.
Did you mean 27 Dresses? Naomie Harris.
Okay, Naomie Harris.
So, Naomie Harris is a rookie cop in the movie who ends up witnessing a murder done by evil detective Frank Grillo and his gang of, like, corrupt narcotics officers. You look at it. Black and Blue, it's a picture of balls.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, you did find my Pornhub channel. We talked about that in the last video. So,
subscribe to his Pornhub.
Literally uncut movie reviews. There's episodes of The Cinema Snob on there that are, like, uncensored. But, so she ends up witnessing this crime by these cops who just execute, like, this gang member, and it's Frank Grillo and his gang of, like, evil narcotics officers. And she has a body cam on that has recorded the whole thing. So the movie it already sets up that this is taking place in an area where just cops don't go to. Right. And whenever they do, something bad, something bad usually happens. So already she's kind of, it's a chase movie. It's a movie in which she wants to get to the precinct to get this footage uploaded to turn in these dirty cops. But it isn't so much just that the cops are after her and trying to kill her. And not knowing who she can trust, who she can't, but she's also stuck in this area in New Orleans, you say? In New Orleans, where no one's helping her. Like, people are just, they're like, regardless of what your situation is, like, this seems like a lot of heat and we don't want that on us right now. Yeah, right. So people won't even, like, let her in their house. It's hard for her to even go into this store to get help.
I think because she's a cop too has to do with it.
Oh, totally. Yeah. No, exactly, because there's already distrust of the police in this area, and just really not wanting what seems like a bad situation, not really wanting to bring that in their house, really. So she's kind of stuck out in the open, having to hide while trying to get to the precinct and avoiding these cops who are trying to kill her. And at one point, they even frame this murder on her, which puts these hardcore gang members against her with a huge price on her head. And I love this bit of casting. It's Mike Coulter, Luke Cage, as just gold chain, gold tooth fur coat wearing Darius, the gang leader in the movie, who he's playing against type in this. He's really good. Like, he's having fun playing this dude. He's got scenes where he's scary.
He really is. Yeah. And I'm glad that you recognized him, because whenever he came up, I was like, here's the thing. You've seen all these guys. So whenever you said Frank Grillo, I was all like, okay, apparently that's a reference I don't get. And then I'm pulling up IMDb and I'm like, oh, that's his name.
Frank Grillo,
Grillo, okay.
I'm just naming cast members and you're like, oh, you and your obscure references. The actor?
Do you know how often you make obscure references, though?
It is true. It happens a lot. I've kind of built a career out of it, I guess.
So Like, there goes Brad making a. Oh, okay, never mind. Frank Grillo.
There's a line in I forget what I referenced, but there's a line in another Cinema Snob movie where Tamara's character says to me like, "I didn't get that reference, but I enjoyed the way you said it."
Right? Yeah.
It's all in the delivery.
Welcome to the majority of your audience.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Why, yes, I did watch Dennis Miller live when I was younger. How did you know? So yeah, Frank. The cast is really good. Frank Grillo's great at this. I mean, Frank Grillo's always great, but especially when Frank Grillo goes evil Frank Grillo.
Yeah. Tyrese Gibson was really good.
He's good in this. He plays the shop owner who's like the only one who will help her out, like at all. Yeah. And even then, like really, they like has severe distrust towards her, but kind of knew her from way back when. And Reed Scott, I think is his name, is her her partner.
I just put my
trust me, I'm right. No,
oh yeah, you're right. You are right.
Oh, I am. Okay, I wasn't sure. I was like 98% sure. That's an actor who I really dig. Whenever I see him and stuff, he's a versatile actor too. Yeah. Like I've seen him in a comedies, drama, which is more of an action movie. He's her partner, and you can kind of sense where it might sort of go in that direction that it does with him. But it does kind of it does a good job of creating this paranoia sort of where you're not sure what his motivation is going to be.
You're not sure who to trust.
Yeah. And I honestly really did dig this movie.
It was good. It was good. It was it had a great message. I had a few problems with the execution of the story, but nothing nothing that bothered me too much.
It's not perfect.
No.
It's the movie is like, if you're kind of reminiscent of like an action thriller like from the 90s, like gang related, that Tupac movie with evil James Belushi, certainly go into this with that kind of mindset a little bit, or like going into like honestly like a lesser Training Day, because there's a couple scenes in this movie that are straight out of Training Day.
Right, yeah.
But,
no, you're right about that.
And this movie's not as good as that, but what this movie does do well, because it's not a perfect script by any means. There's elements it's taken from other things. What the movie I thought did really well was maintain a really good level of suspense. Like, it's a through and through chase film. Her going through these neighborhoods, hiding out, going from building to building, and having, whether it's these gang members or the crooked cops trying to kill her.
I agree.
The movie was, as far as the editing goes, of the action, the suspense, the chasing, it worked. It was through and through pretty entertaining. And whether it was parts where she's hiding out in the grocery store or the complex at the end when the SWAT team is going through, it's intense.
Which I want to talk about that, because I leaned into you. I leaned into you and I said, what is this? Housing projects or like a compound? Because that's literally what it felt like in scenes, you know. And even the cops were like, okay, this is where his lair is, and I'm like, lair?
Because that cop obviously just watched The Raid Redemption or Dread or something like that. Like, yeah, it certainly pulls from a lot of other things, but it's directed very well. The acting is good. She's good in the movie.
She is.
She is. You sense her frustration, and then even by the end of the movie, you kind of also sense how tired she is.
Yes.
Because at this point, this happens, her witnessing this murder when she's at the end of a double.
Right.
Like, by the end of this movie, she has probably been awake for like 48 hours.
Yeah. She is exhausted.
Yeah. It was... What it does well, it does very well.
Yes.
Which is being a solid suspense thriller. Not at the level of a movie like Training Day or like a gritty thriller like Detroit or something like that, but above the kind of thing like last year, that movie Breaking In with evil Billy Burke coming in trying to break into the house to get gold or something. I can't remember. I see a lot of movies.
You really do.
Yeah. I've got 2 more after this. This is a 4 movie day.
So sorry.
That gives me something to do.
Because content.
Pretty much. Yeah, because like they show way more movies up here than they do in Springfield.
Yeah.
This is all told. I've had 7 movies the past couple of days. So yeah, again, God bless the rewards program at these theaters.
Totally.
No, I did have a good time with this movie. This is a good one to see. Like,
Regal, we need sponsorships.
Yeah. Give us more free shit.
Give us free shit.
If this is a solid thing to go to as like a matinee, or to go see like early today, like we did, like a good matinee screening or something. I was not bored at all during this. Like, yeah, script-wise, certainly, there's silliness to it. Like, Mike Coulter happens to have, like, this nephew who's an ace hacker who can get into, like...
Right, yeah. And even says... And one guy's even like, come on, man, you play video games all day. You could crack this.
You could do this?
I'm like, not the same thing.
I know, I'm sitting there like... I do play a lot of Grand Theft Auto.
Obviously, you can hack into like the CIA's.
Oh yeah, I could probably drive
database.
like a mini submarine in the game.
Yeah. It's just like video games.
I play Mario Brothers. I can hit my head on a brick. I could take mushrooms.
I mean, you could.
that I could do. It could take a really bad one. I might actually hit my head on a brick. No. So you would recommend this then?
I would too. I would definitely recommend this movie. It's got a great message about keeping the police accountable, which is important.
I could see a movie like this getting flack from people who haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Because, the movie is about these crooked cops who are trying to kill this woman, and it does get into issues about the police and race and things like that. But
current issues.
Yeah, I mean, don't go into this expecting like it's going to be like some provocative level of filmmaking. I mean, it is. Where it works best is when it's like a suspense thriller and a chase film. But when it gets to the end, it is about this woman who wants to create change in all of this.
Yeah.
Who wants to be a good cop.
Yeah.
Who wants to be... It ends with her and these kids from the neighborhood giving... I mean, it's corny, but it's like, but it's a good shot that it ends with, where they're giving like thumbs up to each other. So it's like, it is about someone who is trying to have a positive relationship between the police and
the community,
in this neighborhood. So, but again, like I said, I mean, it's not, don't go into this thinking it's going to be something they're trying to get Oscars for or something like that.
Right.
But,
well, I mean, I don't know. And this is not any criticism toward the movie. It's more criticism toward the Academy. The Academy will just eat this up. The Academy will just be like,
this movie ain't getting nominated for Oscars, dude.
I don't know. I don't know.
Like, maybe like this not even on like a... I could be wrong. Maybe it'll get a nomination for best sound or something like that. But like,
I don't know.
But even there's like bad Oscar bait that is actually trying to. get
what trailer was that?
nominations
Was that where I said Oscar?
Oh, the Jamie Foxx movie.
Yes.
Like, okay, the Goldfinch or something like that. There's movies that are put out that are actively like trying to get Oscar consideration by doing provocative topics and things like that. And when it's very cynically done, usually, like, it's not that they get the best reviews. The Goldfinch got bad reviews. Like, that's probably not going to get any kind of... that's probably not going to get any kind of Oscar nomination.
I see what you're saying.
Whereas this, which is a way better movie than something like The Goldfinch.
Sure.
But it's not, like, reaching for the stars or anything. It's out there to be a solid, tense thriller.
See, I think the difference is I'm I'm somewhat cynical when it comes to the Academy, and you don't seem to be.
No, I do think that there's movies that do get nominated
unjustly.
Oh, that's always been the case.
Oh, okay.
That's always been the case where something will get unjustly nominated.
And I guess that's what I'm saying about this.
Totally, but I mean, but usually it's something like a hard drama or something put out in December or something like that. Whereas this is more in the category of a movie like Gang Related or something from or an action movie from the late 90s. I mean, there's a lot of movies that deal with race, certainly, and political issues, but that doesn't automatically mean they're going to get good reviews. Or,
no.
I mean, look at, like, I mean, hell, like, by that, it's like...
Kevin Sorbo.
Yeah. By that, it's like, why didn't we nominate Boat Trip? It's starring a black guy and is about gay people. But with that being said, I mean, like, this, I did think this was a solid film, but it's not going to make my best list by the end of the year or anything like that. I just thought it was a fun thriller.
Yeah, same here. Same here. But again, I think the Academy, and I don't know about best list, but I think it'll definitely get a nod.
No, this movie ain't getting, like...
All right, well, we'll see. We'll see. This spring, Okay, fans, you got to mark this. You got to mark this. This spring, shall we make a bet?
A bet of whether or not this is going to get nominated for best Picture?
I don't know about Best Picture.
You mean like any nomination?
Yeah.
Any nomination. Yeah, okay. Wait, what, like White Castle or something?
Right.
Oh, really? I'm getting off easy. Okay,
right.
Sure. I'll give you a White Castle dinner if this movie gets up for Oscars.
Same. All right, White Castle.
But you're right.
Yeah.
There's certainly, like, even while a movie like oh God, it just off the top of my head. All right, I'll just go back to the Goldfinch again. Like, even while, like, there'll be movies that are put out for very cynical reasons to get some award nominations, things like that don't because they get bad reviews.
Sure.
It can still happen. Like, Bohemian Rhapsody got bad reviews, and that got nominated for Best Picture last year. So yeah, I mean,
because biopic.
As much as people harp on Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, it's not a good movie. That got nominated for Best Picture.
Well, and
one will sneak through sometimes.
And that was just ridiculously blatant. I mean, that was just like, holy cow! You knew exactly why they made that film.
Even then, I typically don't get mad, only because I'm like, well, I see the countdowns of the world, so I'm like, it's not like okay. Plus, that has just always been the case with the Oscars, where something really not that deserving is going to get nominated. That makes but it's not like it's like, you know what? I'll get like super. I don't even know if I would get super pissed off. I would just laugh, but I would be like, I'd maybe get more passionate about this issue if they were nominating something like Jexy.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, by all means, I'm not trying to be all like totally cynical, but I think I can just predict based on you can kind of get a vibe of what will. This I don't think, but like the Malick movie I'll bet does. The Terrence Malick movie I saw the other day. It's a Terrence Malick movie and it's about World War II and a guy in Austria standing up against the Nazis like that. That the one about the kid? About the one?
No, not Jojo Rabbit.
Oh, okay.
That one's not playing out here yet. But is there anything else about this movie? Yeah, I
think we kind of went off track here.
Welcome back to Brad and Jerrid talk about race. All right, everyone,
subscribe.
Subscribe to our channel. Check out the reviews on Countdown, Hidden Life, the Terrence Malick movie, The Reliant, the Kevin Sorbo movie. That review is up. So check out all these reviews.
I'm gonna have to
hit subscribe. So, well, I'll tell you about it when we get off the thing here. But thanks for watching, everyone.
See ya.